Hello everyone. At the end of the presentation, you will be able to develop ways to cope with stress. I would like to pass around this visual aid entitled Relief from Stress, and in the article, it mentions ways you can cope with stress. First, let's define what is stress. According to experts, stress can be defined as any physical, emotional, or um, any physical, chemical, or emotional factor that causes tension. Does that mean that stress can be harmful? No. Only to a certain extent, observed Melissa Stopper. To a mild degree, tension can sometimes be beneficial to us. With that in mind, let's illustrate a situation. For instance, or for example, doing this presentation. This can be very stressful because everybody wants to do a good job and we have to do it in a timely manner. We live in a world surrounded by stress. Whether it's from illness, family, single parents, all type of stress, everyday life. This can weaken our immune system and cause us to become ill. Sometimes this creates mental, emotional, physical stress. I selected this topic because everybody can relate to this particular topic. In view of that, let's develop a let's give an example of a person becoming ill. Knowing um, sometimes illness can cause a lot of stress, and we don't know exactly what particular procedures or cautions that we need to take to overcome it. So it can be very stressful. So this is when stress can be a problem. Stress, and when it's also not properly managed. Let's discuss some common ways stress can be a factor, or ways that people can have stress in their life. One is maybe making a living on a job. That's between managing and between employees, managers, or whatever financial problems that may be going on within that particular person's life, or even caring for their parents, their mother or father. Second, single parents. Single parents trying to meet the needs of their families, and also trying to not only meet the needs for getting the kids ready to go to school, and trying to also hold a full-time job. This can be stressful. Third is children under stress. With all the problems within the school system, fitting in, the peer pressure, making good grades, sports, and even violence within the school system. All this can be signs of stress. Fourth is the price of stress. Whether we are young or old, stress can be part of our life. And this can be from certain chronic illness, which can take a toll on our health. It's like an airplane ready to take off. When we feel stress, yes, when we feel stress, your heartbeat begin to raise, your blood pressure rise, and all levels of hormones or your blood sugar are released. And this is a fact of modern everyday living. And we live around a world that sometimes it can be stressful. We have the opportunity to develop ways to cope with stress though, whether we are at school, on the job, or financial, whatever situation within that person's life. Okay, with the use of communication, this could be a good stress reliever, which we can find comfort and support. How can we reduce stress? I know a lot of people ask, well, how can we overcome, how can we reduce this? Well, this, this is by um, having a great deal of rest, which everybody would love to do. Also, diet and exercise. A lot of people like to exercise and go to the gym, and sometimes even jobs now have certain discounts or places that they can help you to go exercise and relieve some of this tension and stress. And also Christian qualities. This can create mildness and patience. And preparing for this presentation, it was very stressful because it was on a time limit and we all wasn't sure exactly what we needed to do. So this is when I realized that the most important thing is to learn how certain limitations or how to overcome the matter. Because no matter what you do in your life, you're gonna always have some type of And sometimes stress is good or beneficial, as mentioned earlier in the presentation. But learning how to cope with it is the mainly most important of it. We can cope with this if we have a positive attitude. By developing a positive attitude, we can cope with this stress. And when you feel overwhelmed or stressing, we can either go shopping. Everybody loves to go shopping with their friends, or they can spend time with your family members. That's just a few of the ways that you can overcome this stressful or whatever situation that you're going to. I would like to thank everybody for coming to hear the presentation. Thank y'all very much. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask me.
I have a
Yes,
question.
yes.
What do you think causes stress?
Well, many factors. It could be the job, it could be family, if you have kids, it could be whatever situation that you're going through. But the main reason is learning how to cope with it. No, don't become so overwhelming that you can't cope with it. Exercise, a good diet, a good night rest can relieve this tension. So again, I would like to thank everybody for coming and thank y'all for sitting in to hear my presentation.